Hey Harry, how are you going? So today, what the plan was just to go over the treatment ideas and just check in with how you're going at home with everything. Unfortunately, with the COVID epidemic, we've got to do stuff via telehealth, at least for a little bit longer. But we'll try and get you back in whenever we can. We're looking at having the Rural Spinal Services group come out and help bring you to appointment or do some treatments with you there, just to try and limit the amount of movement that you have to do. So, first of all, just wanted to check in with how you've been going at home and if there's any, activities that you usually do, like getting dressed or cooking or eating or anything like that you do on a day-to-day basis that's that you've discovered it's harder than you thought since you've gone home and you've been needing assistance with. Um, is there anything that comes to your mind? Excellent. So that's something that we can work together to try and get towards. Obviously it'll take time and we'll have to break down that task of getting dressed down into little components to make it easier. Um, and did you get a chance to have a look at the videos that I emailed you on the different ways to go up and down the ramp with the wheelchair? Yep. Yep. Did you get a chance to practice that at all at your home with the new ramp that was built so you don't have to go up the stairs? Okay. You have? Did your wife film it by any chance? Yeah. So if you could just send that video back to us, that'll be excellent for me just to have a watch on how you did and if there's any changes that I might make to make it easier for you. And we'll talk about that for the next consult. But at the moment, keep doing that. It's good practice. It's good strengthening. It's important that you learn how to go up and down the ramp to be able to go in the community, to be able to go to work and stuff like that. So you understood what we meant by breaking that component down and trying to master and repeat the different little sections that you could break that whole task down into and use it as part practice. Yeah, so the quite large hands at the back of the wheels for further propulsion. If it's a steeper ramp, you don't need to have your hands as far back. Otherwise, with each push, it'll take longer to get back further, and you'll slip backwards a little bit. So you also want to lean forward so that your center of mass is in front. So that's where all your weight is, which will allow it'll be a lot easier to go forward. Otherwise, you'll between sort of strokes, you'll sort of be slipping backwards a little bit as well. And going back down, was there any issues with going down the ramp? Yep. So once again, breaking that component down. First off, we want you to lean backwards. So your center of mass is back, which will help slow down, the momentum of propulsion that you get going down, because we don't want you to go down really fast, uncontrolled. That'll be a hazard to you and others. And also, the other main thing is you don't have to stop each one. Just have your hands resting along the rim as it goes down, and you can use it just to slow yourself down. You don't need to stop each time because that puts you at a risk of falling, out the front of the chair. And we obviously don't want you falling out at all. But that's a good little thing to just to practice to keep going, since that it'll give you a good chance to improve and get better at this. Before we're all allowed out of lockdown to go to the shops and really use that in public. So it'll give you a chance to get better at it and more confident as well, which is what we want. And have you been practicing with the little step, being able to do a wheelie and up onto the step? You've been having a little trouble with the wheelies? Yep. So once again, you got a chance to watch the video. Breaks that task down into little components. So the first thing, just not worry about moving, just having two weights either side of the wheels to keep you in one spot, and just a rapid push and leaning backwards. Make sure that obviously your wife's there behind you, or you have a mattress behind. So if you do fall backwards, you're not going to hurt yourself. You're going to land softly, or your wife's going to catch you. Um, but it's all about the leaning backwards so that sort of masses back. But then once you get that front wheel off, you need to be able to control it. So your hands stay between 12 and 1. They don't need to go any further. They don't need to go any backwards. And you can do little movements front and back to try and maintain that. But yep, so rapid push and lean forward, then lean backwards, and that should bring those the little front wheels up. And so that breaks that down, that component. When you put it into whole practice with a stair there, we can start with a smaller stair, all right, or just a line. That probably will start with just a line. So once you get the little bit of a hang of that wheelie, get your wife to put down a line, and you can just start stationary. You don't need to start with a little bit of a run up. You can just practice wheeling over that line. And then once you get a little bit more confident and better with that, you can go a little bit faster. And that fast propulsion, stop, lift it up, lean backwards and over the line. And then when you get better with that, you can go on to have a little low stair, maybe 3 centimeters, something. Practice getting up on that. And then, we can go high, and then bringing the whole chair up the top. All right. Just so it's easier to get up gutters out when you're out in the community, or, those some little very small steps to get into, shopping centers or shops and stuff like that. Was there anything else? How's have you noticed any redness or increased tenderness, around your buttocks or anything like that, where you've been sitting on for a lot of the time, like the pressure sores or anything like that? No? Okay, good. Have you been continuing with your tricep dips and shoulder strengthening, especially trying to strengthen up that rotator cuff? Because if we strengthen up that, then it'll allow just to be a lot easier with transfers once we strengthen that up, those shoulders up completely. And what about getting up from the floor? Have you fallen out of the chair at all and had trouble getting back up? A little bit, yep. So that can be something as well that we can start to look at. I'll send you another email with the video on explaining, how to get up, what's easiest to get up from the ground. Obviously, it varies between person and person. You might have a personal preference that you find is easier, and by all means employ that. Whatever's easiest for you, then yeah, just do that. But I'll give you, it's just a rough example. It'll give you a few examples as well that you can always try out. And then, so obviously don't start exactly straight from the floor. Start from maybe a little, maybe a 10 centimeter step to start with, and then get into the wheelchair from that step. Just once again, breaking that component down, just to make it easier, build up that confidence, strength. We got to keep doing that heaps and heaps of times. So we build strength, we rewire those transmissions, and forge new pathways so that we can relearn it and strengthen those muscles. Do you have any questions at all about what's been said today or anything like that? No. So I'll send the email within the next hour. Don't need to look at it now. Just whenever you get a chance, have a look at that. Practice off that 10-20 centimeter step to getting back into the chair, because it's a common thing to fall out of a wheelchair. Something happens, but it's important that we know how to get back up into the chair. Otherwise, you'll need to call for assistance from neighbours or even the ambulance if because you are quite out of town, just to help you get back into your chair. Keep practicing going up and down the ramp after and thinking about what we talked about, and practice those little wheelies as well. All right, well, thanks for today, Harry, and I look forward to seeing you next week. get in contact if there's any issues. Thanks. Bye.